tough conversations can pop up anywhere, whether it's in the sword alley, the pickup cab, or over supper at the kitchen table. And let's be honest, navigating those talks can leave everyone involved feeling frustrated, unheard, or stuck. That's why I created a free guide, Handling Hard Conversations, 3 Steps to Creating Space for Clarity, Connection, and Mutual Respect. In this quick and practical resource, you will learn how to pause and ground yourself before your emotions run wild, validate both yourself and others, building trust, and how to ask honest questions that lead to real connection. These 3 simple steps can help you communicate better and keep your relationships, whether it's with your family, your crew, or your spouse, strong and steady, even on the hard days. Download your free copy today and start moving more smoothly through those hard conversations with confidence. The link is in the show notes, so go grab it now. Here's to drawing good movement.
I'll carry you, you carry me, we'll help each other through it. Come on and say good movement draws good movement.
Welcome to Good Movement Draws Good Movement, the podcast where farmers, ranchers, and rural folks can grow relationally through awareness, understanding, and effective communication. Hey, it's T. I'm your host, and I, along with my guests, will be covering topics related to drawing good movement. Things like self and social awareness, brain science, positive psychology, extending grace, and so much more. We'll share tools that can help you understand why you are the way you are, why others are the way they are, and how you can use that to step out of self-told lies with grace and compassion to draw good movement in conversations, relationships, and life in rural America. Let's go draw good movement. Welcome back to the Good Movement Draws Good Movement podcast. This episode was sparked by something someone said to me in a consult call for one-on-one guidance. They said, I just don't know if I'm to that point yet where I need help, or if I even have the time to commit to doing the work. Now, this is not an uncommon thing for me to hear, whether it's in a consult call or in conversation with others. This is something that comes up. And I would absolutely be lying to you if I told you that I had never thought those things myself. Before, let's say 5 years ago, I legit thought, I'm okay. This is kind of hard right now, but I've got it under control. I am doing okay. I can handle this. And so I fully understand this line of thinking, this statement, but I just also want to gently poke at that line of thinking, poke a little hole in it, because we don't have to wait until things are in dire straits or our worlds are crashing down before we seek help. As humans, we are designed for connection. We're not meant to go any of this alone. And so my response in the consult call the other day was, what would happen if you didn't commit to the work? Are you okay with feeling the way you feel right now, or continuing to feel the way you feel right now? And those questions were not a guilt trip. Those were honest questions. I wanted to hear the response. I wanted to know the answers to those questions. And so I'm going to kick it back to you as a listener. What patterns or stress are you managing or going through right now that could turn into something bigger if you don't address them? Because here is the thing. Inner work is not just for when things are completely falling apart. It's like when we go around fence before we put cows in a new pasture, like that's regular maintenance to make sure that when we do put cows in there, they don't get out or crash the fence, or, like things don't get worse. We've done the maintenance. We've made sure the fences are all up and going to be able to hold what we're going to put in that pasture. It's the same thing with inner work. You don't have to wait until the cows are out to mend the fence. You don't have to wait until your world is crashing down around you to do this inner work. It's not weakness to seek support when things are okay, or if they're not that bad. Like, something's off, but it's not that bad. It's not weakness to seek support. That is wisdom. That is going in and going around your fence to make sure that your pasture, metaphorical pasture, has the capacity to handle what's next. Doing this work when you're relatively steady gives your body and your brain the capacity to handle when the fit hits the shan, so to speak. And as I was preparing for this podcast episode, I was thinking to myself, like, how bad does it have to get before you reach out for help? I know how bad it had to get before I reached out for help. I was a lifetime into shoving down my emotions. And the week before my dad died, I learned something that could have changed the trajectory of the previous 18 years of my life had I known it. And I was I can't even describe, I was very confused. I think the way to describe it best is grief. I was grieving, and then my dad died. And then that was it, like next level grief. And I had already reached out for help in that week before. And so I had my appointment scheduled for the next week. Well, it was about, I don't know, 5 days after my dad died. I had my first appointment. But now, having gone through all of that, I would do things totally different. I don't anymore subscribe to the way that I used to justify waiting, like, oh, other people have it worse, or I should be able to handle this, or I've got it under control, or I'm just tired. It'll pass. It's not that bad. Like, I don't subscribe to that anymore. And I encourage other people not to subscribe to that either. Like I said, we're poking holes in this way of thinking. We are no longer waiting till it gets bad enough to reach out for help. We're doing this inner work when everything's relatively even keel. So that when things do get bad, our nervous systems can respond in the way that they're designed to respond instead of getting stuck in fight, flight, freeze, fawn. And it's been maybe a couple of years ago now, but there's this reel that goes around. I've watched it on Instagram. I'm sure it's a TikTok, but I've only recently dipped my toe into the world of TikTok, so I watched it on Instagram first. But it's a reel where a farmer goes to the doctor, and the nurse doesn't quite understand why the doctor is making such a big deal about the farmer coming in. Like, he brought himself in. Well, yeah. Oh, get the crash cart. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't. I'll try to find the link and put it in the show notes. And it's meant to be funny, but it's funny because it's true. And in my mind, that makes it sort of not funny because it's true. In rural America, farmers and ranchers, we are really good at gritting and bearing it and waiting till the last possible moment to go to the physician. We wait until things are really bad before we go get them checked out or go seek out help. And it just doesn't have to be that way. Guidance and help and inner work, and even going and getting your yearly physical at your family physician, those are tools. Like, we can use those ahead of when things are going bad. We don't have to wait. It's a tool that we can use and not like a last resort or a rescue rope or a flotation device when you're out there drowning. Like, we can use those things before it gets that bad. And I want to share because I said 5 years ago, I was following the same line of thought. And over the last 5 years and really the past 3 years, I've gotten deeper into the inner work. And so when I learned that I grew a cancer, I had grown my capacity because I'd been doing this. Like there was the initial immense amount of grief that I was working through. And then there were, you know, childhood wounds and things that I worked through. And then by the point that I learned that I grew a cancer, I was sort of in maintenance mode. But because I had done all of that work, when the fit hit the shan again, when I learned about the cancer I grew, I was really okay. Like, I even told my mom, I'm the best mentally and emotionally than I've ever been in my entire life. And I was not lying. And that was the morning of my big surgery. And so when I say that inner work, like it doesn't have to be that bad to do the inner work, I truly mean it because it will prepare you for when things are that bad. And I wish I could say that bad things would never happen, but that's just not true. That's not life on this planet. Things are going to come up. Things are going to get hard. And when they do, if you're doing this work, like I said, you're going to have the capacity so that your nervous system can respond in the way that it's meant to respond, the way that it's designed to respond. Honestly, looking back, I wish that I would have started this way sooner. I wish I would have known this a long time ago because it would have made a lot of different seasons of my life vastly different. I'm not going to say easier, but vastly different. I would have been able to handle them in a much different way. So if anything that I've said today has stirred something in you, I want you to sit with that for a minute. Sit with that stir. Get curious about it. Learn from it. What is it trying to tell you? Now, I do want to leave you also with a few journal prompts to reflect on. And here they are. Here's the questions. What's keeping you from committing to inner work, either on your own or with someone such as myself to help guide you? What would happen if you didn't seek guidance or start doing some inner work? What kind of support would actually feel nourishing, helpful, beneficial to you right now? And I just want to remind you that support and seeking help and doing this work is not just for when the cows have crashed the fence and are on to the neighbors. It's for before those cows even go into that pasture. It's for going around and making sure that your fences are in good working order. And with that, until next time, draw good movement. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful for you. If you found value in this episode, I'd love for you to share with others who might also benefit from tuning in. Share by word of mouth, send it in a text, take a screenshot and post it on social media, or share however you prefer. And if you haven't already, hit the follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, draw good movement.